Hey everyone! Today we're going to pull apart something really interesting, a modern sales pitch. Now, we're not here to be sold on anything. Instead, we're going to deconstruct it. Look under the hood to see how technology, and AI in particular, is shaking up the very traditional, high-stakes world of hiring at universities. It really all boils down to this one simple question that is incredibly hard to answer. How do you hire a genius? I mean, think about it. If a university needs a top expert in, say, quantum physics or ancient history, they can't just throw an ad up online and cross their fingers. The person they need is probably one of a handful on the entire planet. So, here's our game plan. First, we'll dig into that hiring challenge. Then, we'll meet a new company that thinks they've cracked the code. We'll uncover their secret weapon. Yep, you guessed it, it's AI. Then we'll break down their big offer, and finally we'll talk about what this all means for the future of finding talent. Okay. Let's set the scene. Hiring a professor isn't like hiring for most corporate jobs. It's not a local search. It's a massive, global hunt that costs a ton of time and money. We're talking about finding that one person in the world who is the perfect fit for an incredibly specific role. The stakes are huge. And this, right here, is the absolute heart of the problem. The best of the best, the real pioneers in their fields, well, they're almost never looking for a job. They're busy. They're running labs, they're writing books. That makes the usual job boards pretty much useless for finding that top-tier talent. So, into this really tricky situation steps a new player. We're going to look at a company called AcademicJobs.com today, not as a promotion, but as a case study. We're using their pitch to see how this old problem is being tackled in a brand new way. And they don't exactly tiptoe onto the scene. Their opening line is this really bold claim, taken right from their pitch deck. They're the fastest growing in the entire world. That's a statement that's designed to make you sit up and pay attention, positioning them as a real game changer. And then boom, they back up that big talk with a hard number. They claim they are now number 3, not in a country, but on the entire planet for academic job sites. That one little data point is meant to give them instant credibility and show that their growth isn't just talk. Now, what's so smart about this is the context. See, they're number 3, and they show you they're right on the heels of the old giants in the UK and the US. It's a clever bit of framing. It turns "we're not number 1" into a story about momentum, making them look like the hungry underdog that's catching up fast. So, you have to ask, how did they grow so fast? Well, this is where the pitch really gets interesting. They reveal what they call their secret weapon, the AI candidate finder. This isn't just another tool. They're presenting it as a full-on digital headhunter. Now, to get why this AI is a big deal, you first have to understand this term, the passive candidate. Remember those geniuses who are too busy to look for jobs? That's them. These are the people you really want to hire, but they're not browsing job ads. Reaching them is the holy grail, and that's exactly what this AI is for. And here's how it apparently works. A university posts a job. Then the AI gets to work scanning a huge network of over 20,000 academics. Not job seekers, but academics. It finds the best matches and then proactively pings them about the opportunity. So what's the end result? The university gets a list of interested experts they probably never would have found on their own. And they make it super tangible. It's not some vague promise of better candidates. Nope, they put a number on it. For every single job, the university gets 40 AI-generated leads. This takes the fuzzy idea of AI and turns it into a concrete, measurable outcome. This part is really smart. They use a quote from a client to show that this tech wasn't just built in a lab somewhere. It was a direct response to what their customers were asking for. It frames the whole thing as them listening and solving a real-world problem, which is always a powerful way to sell an idea. Okay. So the AI is the cool tech, it's the hook. But how do they actually sell it? That brings us to their business model, which they call the unlimited package. This is where the rubber really meets the road, connecting the technology to the university's bottom line. Just look at this list. It's a classic value proposition. It's not just one thing, it's a whole bundle of solutions. They're promising to do all the boring admin work, save a ton of money, and even promote the university as a cool place to work. Every single one of these bullet points is aimed at solving a major headache for a busy HR department. But out of everything in the pitch, this is the number that's designed to be the showstopper. An average cost of just $23 per job. Now, in an industry where one ad can cost hundreds, sometimes thousands of dollars,
That number is meant to sound almost unbelievable. It's designed to grab all the attention.
And this slide just ties the entire argument together with a bow. It's the classic before and after. The old way, expensive, slow, and you don't reach enough people. Their new way, super cheap, zero effort, and a global reach powered by AI. It's a simple, powerful summary of everything they're offering.
So, after taking this whole pitch apart, what's the big takeaway? Well, this story is bigger than just hiring professors. What we're looking at here is a sneak peek into the future of how all kinds of specialized professional jobs might be filled.
Here's the most important thing to understand. For years, HR tech was all about sorting through the resumes that came in. It was reactive. What we're seeing now is a huge shift. AI is becoming proactive. It's no longer a filter, it's a hunter. It's a digital scout that's actively out in the world trying to find the best person for the job, whether they're looking or not. And that leaves us with one last, kind of wild thought to chew on. We've seen how this is changing the game for universities. But as this AI-driven headhunting gets better and more common, you have to wonder about our own careers. It doesn't seem so crazy to ask, will your next boss or your next brilliant coworker, or maybe even you, be hired by an algorithm?